The Regular Show movie was an action comedy for the family based around the recently canceled Cartoon Network show, Regular Show, where the show is anything but regular. The plot of the movie is one of the main characters, named Rigby, meets his future self, who explains to him that his future has a terrible outlook due to Rigby causing his high school gym teacher to lose the volleyball finals back when he was in high school. The gym teacher then became a Darth Vader-like overlord, who sought out revenge on Rigby by teaming up with Rigby's friend Mordecai. Both Rigby and Mordecai and the rest of the people they work with at their park have to go back in time to prevent Rigby from ruining the volleyball game. The characters consist of Mordecai, a talking humanoid blue jay and friend of Rigby's, who is voiced by J.G. Quintel, the show's creator. Rigby is voiced by William Sailors. Some of the other park workers include Muscle Man, a guy who is everything but muscle, who is voiced by Sam Marin, who also voices Benson, a humanoid gumball machine that is the park manager, and Pops, who is the son of the park's owner. There's also High Five's ghost, a ghost with an extra hand on its head, who is voiced by Jeff Bennett. Skips, a humanoid gorilla that always skips instead of walks, is voiced by Mark Hamill. Now let's get to the actual review. Warning, there may be spoilers ahead. I also suggest watching the actual show before getting to the movie. If you don't care about that, or have already seen the movie, carry on watching. I love the mind of Mr. J.G. Quintel, and this movie shows just what his mind can do. The ratings reflect this too. It's not often that a movie based on a TV show gets much above a 5 out of 10, but IMDb rates it a 7.4 out of 10, and the audience on Rotten Tomatoes rates it an 8.5 out of 10. The animation used in the movie is phenomenal and gives the movie a great vibe. I enjoyed every bit of the movie, but my most favorite part is the scene where Mordecai and Rigby realize what effect changing the past had on the future. The montage that soon followed was fairly boring, but other than that, I enjoyed every bit of the movie. In conclusion, the Regular Show movie is a great movie for the entire family, so long as you had watched the original TV show before viewing. I rate the Regular Show movie a 4.8 out of 5 stars. Now I'm going to pass it on to Bobby.
Hi, I'm Bobby and Sarah, and today I'll be reviewing the movie Django Unchained. Django Unchained is a movie from 2012 that is written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. This film has many well-known actors and actresses from Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, Samuel L. Jackson, Christoph Waltz, and Kerry Washington. It has won many awards including Best Original Screenplay and Best Supporting Actor. The movie is set back in time to 1885 in Texas, and Django, the main character, starts out as a slave who is freed by a man named Dr. King Schultz. He was broken apart from his wife in slave trade during the movie. Django and Dr. Schultz pose as men trying to buy a Mandingo, also known as a slave fighter. They are actually looking to get Django's wife back. There are many different fighting scenes throughout the movie, and there are surprises around every corner that keep you on your toes. Django, Jamie Foxx, and Dr. King Schultz, Christoph Waltz, become good friends throughout the movie. Their characters have a very good chemistry together, and everything feels natural. Django, who is driven by revenge, wants to get his wife back and kill anyone who stands in his way. They find his wife at Calvin Candy's house, who is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and they create a plan to get his wife back. Jamie Foxx perfected his role as Django. He really seemed to be driven to get his wife back, and it all felt so real. It seemed as if viewers could be seeing real life, not a movie. He did such a good job with his role that I felt for him when something good or bad happened. I wanted him to succeed and reach his wife. Christoph Waltz, who is played by Dr. Schultz, was incredible in his role. He won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, and he was an important role for the film to be great. Overall, this movie was wonderful. The gunfights were very fast-paced and entertaining. The scenes between Django and his wife were very powerful and emotional, and all the characters played their roles very well. I would rate this movie a 10 out of 10, and it is my favorite movie of all time. I recommend it to anyone who likes action and a good storyline. Django Unchained is a great movie, and I'll be taking over to Guy.
Hello everybody, my name is Guy Divinier, and I would like to discuss what I think is one of the most underrated movies in recent history. That movie is The Finest Hours. It was released in 2016 and was directed by Craig Gillespie. The Finest Hours is the true story of the most daring mission in U.S. Coast Guard history. The movie follows Coast Guard Petty Officer Bernie Weber, who gathers a crew to rescue the members of an oil tanker ship that's split in half. The movie stars Chris Pine, Casey Affleck, Eric Bana, and Holliday Grainger. The movie centers around Coast Guard Petty Officer Bernie Weber. He gets a call saying that an oil tanker split in half along the coast of Cape Cod. He is ordered to gather up a crew to assist the ship before it sinks. The movie also shows his fiancée worrying about him while he is away. The acting in the movie is really good. Chris Pine's performance as Bernie Weber is fantastic, as well as Eric Bana's performance. The rest of the crew's performances are very well acted and definitely deserve recognition. The character of Bernie Weber is really interesting. He is a character that shows a lot of bravery and wits in the film. The effects in the movie are basically what you would expect from a disaster movie. They are done very well, but they are what you would expect. The score of the film was definitely groundbreaking. It helped give the film a feeling of tension and kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Overall, I think that this is one of the most underrated films in recent history. This is definitely a film that everyone should check out. This film can really get your heart pumping and also display a lot of emotion. This film definitely goes on my list of favorite movies, and I hope you all get a chance to see it as well. Let's bring it over to my colleague Delaney.
Hi, I'm Delaney Bannon. I'll be reviewing the album Clockwork Angels by Rush. This album tells the story of an adventurer who finds himself in the most outrageous of situations, but he always finds his way out. The man is perceived as the watchmaker, a theory that all is created by your higher being, and all he does is watch time go by. The meaning behind the cover. On the cover of the album, you see runes that make up a clock. Each rune has a different meaning, from limestone to salt of the earth. The album has 12 songs on it, each corresponding with a different rune. For example, their first song, Caravan, corresponds with copper, or beauty, for the beauty we find when we start a new adventure. There are many different types of prog rock on this album, to a sad story about a man being wary about going on a new adventure, to a heavier song about an adventurer going on a headlong flight through space. To make things even more interesting, the clock in the album reads 2112 in military time, which is a passage to one of their earlier albums, 2112. This album is filled with love and also heartbreak, making an emotional roller coaster until the very end. From the Garden saying how all life is meaningful but it can be taken away in a second, to the Anarchist telling us how we all have a missing part of us that grows around us like a cage. All in all, I would give this album a 10 out of 10 rating, simply because it shows so much emotion and talent between the three musicians. It truly is a work of art. Now over to Michael Yeager.
Hello, I'm Michael Yeager, and today I will be giving you my personal opinion of the 1994 movie Forrest Gump. This film had a great story, spectacular performances by the actors, and it used technical aspects very well. This movie follows the life of Forrest Gump, a simple Alabama man. He tells his incredible life story to people sitting next to him at the bus stop. He talks about his wild adventures through life. These adventures included playing for the Alabama football team, fighting in the Vietnam War, becoming a ping pong champion, running back and forth across the United States, and starting up a multi-million-dollar shrimping business, all the while trying to find his childhood crush, Jenny Curran. I feel that Tom Hanks truly mastered his role as Forrest Gump in this film. He really embodied Forrest Gump's values and his lifestyles. Maybe that is why he won an Oscar for his performance. I also think that Robin Wright did an incredible job showing the life of Jenny and her troubles throughout the film. I also really liked how they had Forrest narrate his story to anyone who would listen. It seemed very natural. They also did an amazing job creating the overall feel for whatever Forrest Gump was doing at the time, whether it was dark and eerie for when he was in Vietnam or if it was bright and happy when he was playing football. You always felt like you were there with him. In conclusion, this is a really well-made film, and I would give it a 9 out of 10 stars. I recommend that at some point in their lives, everyone should watch this movie. Now let's go over to my colleague, Ronan.
Hey there, it's Ricky Ronan here, doing a quick review on That's My Boy. That's My Boy is a comedy film starring Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg. Adam Sandler plays the drunk teen father, known as Donnie, and Andy Samberg plays the role of his son, known as Todd. Donnie lives a wild life, while his son is a neat freak who is controlled by his fiancée. Donnie left Todd while he was still a kid, due to being a drunk 14-year-old father. Years later, when Donnie is in deep debt, he discovers his son, he hasn't spoken to in years, is a very successful young man, and can maybe get some money from him to save his debts. When Donnie shows up the day before Todd's wedding, Todd's life was flipped upside down. Along the way, it started off by Donnie seeking for cash, but Donnie and Todd began to once share a long-lost bond. Donnie began looking for reconnection with his son, but ends up causing more harm than good. Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg really fit the role of this film. Both two energetic actors have a really good chemistry in the movie. Adam Sandler plays a drunk teen dad who had a baby with his elementary teacher. and Andy Samberg plays the role of Adam's son, who was separated from Adam as a kid. Adam Sandler really plays his role well, in my opinion. It was a jump for him and stepped out of his rom-com films and took a leap and tried something new. Andy as well played his act very well. He almost makes me believe that he could play any kind of role if he wants to. All in all, I enjoyed this film. It was a little out of sorts at times, but it always gave me a good laugh. I'd rate this movie an 8 out of 10. It was not my favorite movie, but I did very much enjoy it. Now let's bring it over to Sam Corbett.
Hi, my name is Sam Corbett, giving a movie review of the 2010 psychological thriller and drama made by Martin Scorsese, Shutter Island, rated R. This is one of the best films in the 21st century, as it has a great plot, amazing technical use, and great performances by Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo. The main theme about this story is coming to terms with the monster inside you and learning about the truth no matter what. Teddy Daniels, played by DiCaprio, must fight the inner battle and the outer battle to make everything right again. He's a police detective who is sent to a psychiatric ward on an island off of Boston to investigate a missing person. He gets a new partner, Chuck Aul, played by Mark Ruffalo, who is already a suspicious character. As he tries to find the missing patient, he learns that there is a more mysterious plan going on at the island, and he must face his own issues to help it end. Teddy has to become stronger mentally and physically in order to crack the case, along with surviving the problems of the island. He must return to the past to face the future. Ruffalo plays a great secondary role, and the main doctor on the island, Dr. John Cawley, played by Ben Kingsley, acts as a suspicious host, and his performance just adds to the overall creepiness of the movie. The dim lighting also makes the scenes dark and gloomy, giving the sense that something bad is going to happen at all times. The continuous thunder and lightning makes it eerie as well. The jump cuts throw you off for a second, but that just makes the psychiatric thriller better. I would give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. Thanks for listening, everybody. Now let's bring it over to Henry.
Hi, my name is Henry Kondo. I'm going to tell you about a comedy film, Get Hard, with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. James King, a rich man with a big house and so much money, is framed by his future father-in-law, Martin, for stealing money and gets arrested at his party with his wife. A man named Darnell Lewis will help James survive in prison by toughening him up because James is going to San Quentin, a dangerous prison where he will probably get beat up. He doesn't take the plea, so he has 30 days to get ready. James assumes Darnell already went to prison because of his ethnicity, so Darnell tells him that. At first, things went bad for James. His fiancée left him. Now his training is going poor. He got beat up after Darnell told him to fight some people. After they get back from a restaurant, James does better with his training and learns how to trash talk. Then James tries to find the gang of alliance of whites, and it backfires. Nobody likes him, and they try to beat him up. Darnell saves him with the flamethrower. Darnell and James realize Martin framed James, so they try to steal his computer for evidence. They do, but Martin's bodyguard catches him, and James finds out Darnell lied about going to prison. James is partying with the Crenshaw Kings gang and almost killed the man, but decided no. He and Darnell become friends again, and they try to catch Martin on his yacht. They sneak on, get in fights, and prove Martin did it. Martin got arrested, but so did James for holding an unlicensed gun. But thanks to Darnell, he was ready for prison. My favorite character is Darnell because he is funny. He gets in James' face constantly and cusses him out. My favorite scene is when James and Darnell go to Russell, T.I., Darnell's cousins in the Crenshaw Kings. I like this because it's the funny way James acts and fits in with Russell's gang. That's why this is one of my favorite movies and why I chose it. Now on to Anna Giblin.
Hello everybody, and my name is Anna Giblin, and I am here to talk about one of the greatest movie trilogies of all time, High School Musical. The first movie aired on Disney Channel way back in 2006, and fans have loved it for over 10 years. The first movie starts off with basketball player Troy Bolton at a ski resort on New Year's Eve. He reluctantly sings karaoke with a complete stranger in front of everybody. There, he discovers his talent for singing, and when he fell for his singing partner, Gabriella, for the first time. When Troy comes back to school, he learns that Gabriella had been transferred to East High, his high school. The rest of the movie is all about Troy and his conflicted feelings for singing and basketball. As he once said, "My head's in the game, but my heart's in the song." Worried about his friends' opinions on him if he does the school musical, or Gabriella's opinion on him if he quits his talent for singing and focuses on basketball, Troy figures out a way to do both, and everyone loves him for it. High School Musical would not be as amazing as it is if it weren't for the villains, Ryan and Sharpay. They're the Wonder Twins who are all about showbiz. All they wanted was to star in the spring musical, but their spot was taken from by Troy and Gabriella. High School Musical is a brilliantly unique movie about breaking the status quo and teaching kids that they are all in this together. It is full of happiness, heartbreak, joy, creme brulee, and some fantastic music. High School Musical has won 2 Emmys for Outstanding Choreography and Outstanding Children's Program. The on-screen and off-screen chemistry between Troy and Gabriella really makes this movie incredible. High School Musical is an outstanding movie that teaches kids to never stop soaring and flying.